And tonight we're hearing from Vice President Kamala Harris for the first time since President Biden endorsed her to become the Democrats' nominee for president. Thanks for inviting us in. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Scott Swan.
And I'm Jenny Runovich. We are in tonight for Anne Marie and Felicia. So it has been a little more than 24 hours now since President Biden dropped out of the race. And now the spotlight is on the VP.
However, she didn't mention her campaign in her first public comments today.
And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
So now the vice president is expected to take her campaign on the road with a stop in Michigan tomorrow, followed by an appearance here in Indianapolis on Wednesday.
And Hoosier Democrats are now stepping up, pledging their support for the VP as we quickly approach the Democratic National Convention. So tonight, Karen Campbell is here to break down what happens next.
Yeah, so although there's so many people coming out to back Vice President Harris, it doesn't necessarily mean that she will automatically get the delegates Biden won during the primaries. Now, those delegates can vote for the candidate they want when it comes to voting at the convention. Vice President Kamala Harris, President Joe Biden's pick to replace him as the Democratic candidate after his decision Sunday not to seek re-election. But Biden's endorsement of Harris doesn't mean she will automatically get the approval of delegates to be the nominee. Biden was unopposed in the May Democratic primary, receiving 100% of the delegates.
Those folks were previously pledged to Joe Biden, so really they were backing him pretty much fully. Now that is not the case.
Mike Schmuel is the chair of the Indiana Democratic Party. Indiana is sending 88 delegates to the Democratic National Convention in August.
I think that his the weight of that endorsement is very, very strong, and I think will weigh heavily on what delegates want to do moving forward.
Democratic delegates are free to choose the person they want at convention, meaning they don't have to vote for Vice President Harris just because President Biden endorsed her. Other Democratic candidates could emerge in these early days since Biden's withdrawal.
There may be people who vote differently. I expect that might happen.
Joe Donnelly, former senator and ambassador to the Vatican, will lead the delegation at the DNC.
Every delegate who goes has the right to vote the way that they think makes the most sense. And that's the American way. And those delegates represent our state. They've been chosen by folks in Indiana to represent Hoosiers. And so we trust in their judgment. We trust in their wisdom.
Donnelly emphasizing Hoosier voices will be heard. And according to the Indiana Secretary of State's office, Schmuel, who we just heard from, the chair of the Democratic Party, must certify the party's candidates for president and vice president for the November election by September 10th. And Schmuel tells me that the delegation is expected to meet tonight to talk about all of this.
Yeah, we'll be following this story very closely. Karen Campbell tonight. Thanks so much. Well, many people have now stepped up to praise President Biden since he pulled out of the race.
And now we're hearing from a prominent Republican, former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence. He released a statement online today saying it was the right decision. He went on to say, quote, "Now is a time for leaders in both parties to project calm and send a message of strength and resolve to America's friends and enemies alike that whatever the state of our politics."